CBS Radio brings you The Couple Next Door, written by Peg Lynch and starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Good morning, Daddy.
Well, this is a pleasant surprise. What are you doing up so early?
Oh, I don't know. I just woke up and I thought I'd come down and have breakfast with you. I thought, gee, I never have breakfast with my daddy anymore.
Well, I know, and I miss having breakfast with my Betsy, too. But I don't like you to miss your sleep just because I have such crazy early office hours.
Where's Mommy?
Well, Mommy's putting the first lot in the washing machine or something out there. Here, add some orange juice.
Daddy, don't you think everybody ought to have a new Easter hat?
Well, I should say so. Why, don't you have a new Easter bonnet?
No, and I wish I did. All my friends do. Gee, they all got new things for Easter. Mommy said I didn't need any.
Well, no, my goodness, I certainly think a little girl should have a new Easter bonnet.
Oh, it doesn't matter really, Daddy. I mean, if we can't afford it, I don't mind. I know we have a lot of expenses, and you work so hard all the time.
Oh, well, now, look here. I guess I can find a few pennies for a new hat for my girl. I mean, what's the sense of having a pretty little girl if she can't have a new Easter bonnet?
Oh, Daddy, am I pretty?
Well, sort of.
Oh, Daddy, am I?
You are beautiful. You are the beautifulest thing I ever saw.
Oh, Daddy, I think you're the handsomest man I ever saw, too. Oh, Daddy, I love you so.
Well, Daddy kind of likes you, too. Now, come on, drink up your orange juice there. Except maybe you ought to go brush your hair, at least. You know, Mommy doesn't like having you come down to the table with your hair uncombed like that, but you can eat breakfast in your bathrobe. That's all right.
All right, Daddy. I'll be right back down. And, Daddy? Would you ask Mommy if I could have a new hat for Easter?
Ask Mommy. Listen, your father is the Lord and Master in this household. You will have a new Easter bonnet.
Oh, thank you, Daddy. You're the best daddy in the whole world.
Paris, European capital of fashion and femininity, where women are dedicated to being desirable and appealing.
Paris, where the preferred deodorant among knowing women is new Odorono. Parisians have discovered that wonderful new Odorono forms a gentle, firm shield against odor-causing perspiration, gives you a clean, fresh feeling all day long. Odorono babies the skin, so mild it can't harm the finest fabrics.
And now, important news. To introduce you to Paris's favorite deodorant, new Odorono is being offered at just half price. For a limited time only, save 50 cents on the $1 jar of Odorono cream. Or get new Odorono spray, also at half price. Look for the Odorono half price offer wherever deodorants are sold.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry you had to start eating alone. I wanted to get the washing started. I've got such a busy day.
Yeah, it's okay. I had a little company. Betsy woke up early, I guess. She'll be right back down. I sent her up to comb her hair a little.
Betsy's awake so early?
Yeah.
I'm surprised she got up. It's getting harder and harder to get her up in the morning.
You want that piece of toast? I'm not quite ready. You go ahead.
Oh, all right. I'll take it. Oh, I didn't put any marmalade on the table.
Well, never mind for me. I don't want any. Look, what's this about Betsy not having a new Easter bonnet?
Oh, that's why she got up.
What do you mean?
Oh, has she been working you?
Oh, for Pete's sake. No, she has not been working me, as you put it.
Betsy winds you right around her little finger. All she has to say is, oh, Daddy, you're the best daddy in the whole world. I'll bet she said, didn't she? Oh, look, I don't blame you. She takes me in, too. All I'm saying is, dear, don't think she doesn't know what she's doing, because she does.
Well, I suppose. I do think she ought to have a new Easter bonnet.
There's nothing wrong with the one she insisted on getting for Easter last year, and she hasn't worn it since, maybe twice. She never wears a hat in the summer.
She wears one when she goes to Sunday
She
school.
wears her winter hats, or else she wears just that little tiny flowered thing. She doesn't like the hat she got for Easter last year, so she won't wear it. And she's the one who wanted it at the time and is still practically new. So I don't think she should have a new one.
Well, I've already promised her she can have one. Now, look, when I was a kid, everybody had something new for Easter. And, well, Betsy said all her friends have new hats. I mean, well, I think she ought to be allowed to have one. Anyhow, I've already said she could.
All right.
Oh, now, look, honey, I mean, if all her friends have new Easter bonnets...
I said all right, didn't I?
Yeah, you said it, but you're mad.
I'm not mad at all. Naturally, if you've told her she can have one, I'll agree with you. But I don't like it when I tell her no about something. She comes running to you and gets you on her side. I mean, I don't think that's right. Frankly, I think you were wrong to agree without discussing it first with me. I really do.
Yeah, well, I think I was wrong there, too. Well, all right, shall I tell her that she can't have a new hat?
Oh, no, then it looks as though I'm the mean one. Besides, I want Betsy to feel that the man, the father, is the final word in the family. You know, I've always tried to impress on both the children that their father is the final authority. That you are the one person...
Oh, come on, honey. Who are we kidding?
What do you mean?
Get me some more coffee, will you?
Yes, what do you mean by that remark?
Well, darling, let's face it. I mean, times have changed. In this day and age, there isn't an American child who isn't perfectly aware of who really wears the pants in the family. The mother. Every leading sociologist tells
Well, that is not true in our family.
Sure.
When you tell the children to do something, I make a special point of not disputing you. Even if I don't agree.
Yeah.
I make a special point of not saying a
word. You make
word.
a special point of it.
Yes,
See, well, that's my point. In the old days, father's word was law. Mother never thought of disagreeing. If her husband said so, that was it. That was it.
Fiddlesticks.
All right,
with
fiddlesticks.
Men and women haven't changed that much.
The family situation has, with women going out and working and bringing in money.
I don't go out and work and bring in money.
Could I have my coffee, please? You poured it, but you left it standing on the stove.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm busy arguing with you. Here you are, honey. Well, I don't care what you say. I always act as though you're the final authority. I always speak of you to the children with respect and deference.
Honey, when you say things like that, like, for heaven's sake, take your feet off the coffee table, that's respect to the father of the family?
Look, if the father of the family puts his feet on the coffee table...
when you say to me, what's the matter with you? Why don't you come to dinner? I've called you 3 times. Everything's going to be cold.
Well, why do you disappear right at dinner time? Every night I have to
all right, okay, some blame on my side, I'll admit. But the point is, in the old days, Father bought the coffee table. Father could put his feet on the coffee table if he wanted to. Nobody said anything.
In the old days, Father wouldn't have thought of putting his feet on the coffee table. Which, as a matter of fact, I don't think they had then anyhow. Father would have sat in a very dignified way in the parlor, looking like the voice of authority, which he was.
Well, when his dinner was ready, his wife wouldn't have dared bawl him out, screaming that dinner would be cold, and would he, for heaven's sake, get to the table?
Of course not. In the old days, Father would say, I would like dinner served at precisely 6 o'clock every evening, and at 6 promptly, Father would appear without being yelled at.
Well, okay, but what you still can't understand is that in the old days you wouldn't even have discussed this with me. Don't you see? I would have stated my opinion. You would have listened deferentially, and since my word was law, you'd simply have nodded and said quietly, oh, yes, Mr. Piper.
Would you like me to be more like that, dear?
Certainly. Now, Mrs. Piper,
yes.
Our daughter Elizabeth is allowed to have a new Easter bonnet. That is my decision.
Yes, Mr. Piper.
Very good. Very good. Now practice saying it. Lower your eyes.
Yes, Mr. Piper.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Piper.
Yeah, I like that. You know something? I'll bet family life would be a lot simpler if there were just one authority. Do you realize that there'd never be any disagreements? Then Father would decide everything. Children wouldn't play parents against each other. They'd know there was just one person whose word was final.
I have always tried to make Betsy feel that about you.
Yeah,
dear.
well, I don't think she does at all. The fact that she asked you first if she could get a new hat, that proves it.
All right, I'm sorry. Well, I hear her coming back down to breakfast, and I will try to impress on her once and for all that her father is the final authority.
We'll return to the couple next door in just a moment. These voices should be familiar to you.
I'll think of my audience as never more than one person.
Hi, Gary Moore here. Hello, everybody. This is Art Linkletter.
Well, fancy meeting you here, Miss Clooney.
Bing Crosby, what a small world it is.
We do have an appointment, you know.
Those voices come to you every weekday, a happy habit every Monday through Friday on CBS Radio. Bing and Rosie as a delectable singing, talking team. Art Linkletter is host of House Party. Gary Moore with his splendid sidekick Durwood Kirby. And Arthur Godfrey, currently reporting from somewhere east of Suez on his regular daytime show. All those stars at one convenient time of day for all America's enjoyment. Come one, come all. They're as happy a daytime habit as you can form. Where? Why, right here on your station affiliated with CBS Radio. Where else?
And what I've tried to impress on you, Betsy, is that it is your father who earns the living, who supports us and takes care of us, feeds and clothes us.
I know.
Now, don't be sassy.
I don't mean to be sassy, Daddy. I do know all that. I don't know what Mommy's trying to say to me.
Well, for example, if you want a new Easter bonnet, ask Daddy.
I did, and he said I could have one, didn't you, Daddy?
Well, yes, but the point is, Betsy...
You must not ask me for things as you did with the Easter hat. I said no, because I felt that you should ask Daddy.
Then I did ask Daddy, and he said yes.
I know, but in the future, when you want something, ask Daddy first. Don't you understand? He's the head of the family.
You mean ask Daddy first just to be polite?
Oh, no, darling,
all right,
not
let it
to
go.
be
Let it
polite.
go. Come on, for the heck with it. Let's finish breakfast.
Betsy, now just understand one thing. In the future, when you want anything or some decision has to be made, just ask your father. Now, don't ask Mommy. Ask Daddy. Is that clear?
I guess so. I asked Daddy first, and then he has to ask you?
No, darling.
You see what I told you?
No.
You see? Who are we kidding around
Betsy,
here?
Daddy doesn't ever have to ask Mommy anything. Mommy has to do what Daddy says because Daddy's the head of the family. And also, we want to do what Daddy says because we love him, and he loves us.
You will do what your father says because he's your father. Now, it's all the explanation you need, young lady.
What did I do? I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything.
Oh, sweetheart, Daddy didn't mean it. What is the matter with you?
I don't know. Oh, baby. Look, no, Daddy didn't mean to speak sharply like that. I really didn't. Here, come to your Daddy.
Take Mommy's hanky. I think she's been upset anyhow because of the Easter bunny.
Well, of course she has it. But now Daddy's girl is going to have a new hat, huh?
Daddy didn't
I don't need a new hat. I haven't got a new dress with it anyway. Mommy said I didn't need a new dress.
Well, your father said you could have a new dress and a new hat. She can.
I didn't say a word. Whatever you decide. Here, give her to me. She's getting strawberry jam all over your tie.
Oh, golly.
There,
Well, it's easy to see who really runs this family.
CBS Radio brings you The Couple Next Door, written by Peg Lynch and starring Peg Lynch and Alan Bunce.
Now, we should sit down and have breakfast with me.
I will, dear. I dropped the pancake turner behind the stove, and there seems to be something else behind here, too.
You going downtown today?
Yes, naturally, since you promised Betsy a new dress and hat for Easter. I'm taking her shopping after school. I don't know how, with everything else I've got to do. Got a street lighting committee this morning at Jones' house, and then a general committee general membership meeting of the Women's Club at 1:30. What is behind this stove?
Hey, for Pete's sake, don't try to move the stove yourself.
Never mind. I got it.
You shouldn't try to move heavy things like that.
Neither should you with your back. I wasn't moving it. Anyhow, really, I was just fishing behind it. Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Heaven's sakes what?
It's the note from Mrs. Tenney. She must have put it up on this little shelf and it dropped down behind the stove. No wonder we couldn't find it.
Say, that reminds me, I got to call the insurance man again. I haven't been able to reach him.
Dear Mrs. Piper, my sister was suddenly taken sick, so I can't finish the cleaning today. And I'm rushing off. I know that you just went out for the weekend without hiding your silverware like you always do, so I put it in the attic along with your jewelry box. In case you were
Boy, I tell you, when she came to clean on
Tuesday
Tuesday and told us that, I thought of all the commotion we'd had for a week, thinking we'd been robbed.
Well, she said she'd left us a note, dear. Here it is. P.S., she says you're out of furniture polish and floor wax. Well, I didn't know that. I better put them on my list.
Well, come on and eat some breakfast, will you?
Polish.
Oh, by the way, Betsy asked me last night if she could have a few of her friends over Sunday morning for an Easter egg hunt. I said sure.
Well, thank you for telling me.
Oh, that's all right, honey. No, I guess she'd have told you this morning or so.
And I better order some eggs today and some coloring and jelly beans and things like that, then.
Yeah, look, get a lot of that coloring stuff, and tonight let's have some fun. All of us coloring Easter eggs.
All right, don't be late then so we can have an early dinner.
The April Ladies' Home Journal brings you the horrifying account of the nightmare one woman went through when an intruder broke into her house and attempted to attack her. This frightening situation is dramatically brought to your attention in an article entitled A Shocking Story. It is the story Mrs. Caroline K. Simon, New York Secretary of State, says must be told for the welfare of women and children. You can't afford to miss this article. Find out what you can do to protect yourself from possible attack and what government officials are doing to remedy this unthinkable situation. Due to the steady increase of these crimes against women, it is important that every woman should be aware of this danger and what she can do to protect herself when she is alone. So be sure you get the credited facts. Get your copy of the April Ladies' Home Journal today, wherever magazines are sold. Read A Shocking Story.
Greetings. Your lord and master has arrived. Where are you?
In the living room.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry I didn't get home earlier, but Mr. Cranshaw, of course, was on the warpath today.
No.
Hi, for the love of Mike, what are you doing?
Don't mention the name Cranshaw to me. I'm on the warpath, and I could scalp a Mrs. Cranshaw.
What are you sewing on? What is that thing?
This is an Easter bunny costume.
What?
An Easter bunny costume. The zipper is gone. Apparently the man who wore it last year just ripped it off. Probably in a rage at having to wear the costume at all, and I'm having to put in a whole new zipper up the back here. I'm almost finished, but I didn't do a very good job sitting here seething with rage at your boss's wife.
Why, what's it all about? What does Mrs. Cranshaw have to do with an Easter bunny costume?
Oh, the orphanage or foundling home, whatever it is, that's her pet charity. Every year she has a big Easter egg hunt for my boys and girls, as she calls them. And it isn't that I mind doing something for the children. I'm glad to do it in that way. But it's just that Oh, it must be the 10th time I've stuck my finger.
It's just that what?
Well,
What?
Mrs. Cranshaw is the same with this as she is when she's on any kind of a committee. She takes the credit and everybody else does the work. She came up to me at the Women's Club meeting and fluttered about me. Oh, dear Mrs. Piper, could you help me? You're so clever, and I'm just helpless when it comes to sewing. So forth and so
sounds
forth.
like her, all right.
No,
Look, I know it's infuriating, but, well, I do thank you for saying you do it anyhow, honey. You know, it's good.
Well, as I said, I don't really mind doing something for the children, but I do object to her just roping people in at the last minute. And if she hadn't been the wife of your boss...
I know. I love these things you have to do, I guess. By the way, who's the poor guy that has to wear this monkey suit?
Bunny suit, dear.
Bunny
I don't know.
suit.
There, it's finished. Now, if you will get in the car and take it over to her right away.
Car, I just put the car away.
Your boss's wife.
Oh, all right.
Besides, you have to pick up Betsy at Sandra Hughes anyway. I dropped her there after we went shopping. And I'll just call Mrs. Cranshaw and say you're on your way and the costume is repaired.
Now, look, just let me glance at the headlines, huh? Where's Bobby?
I took him shopping. Poor little fellow's so tired. When we got home, I fed him and just got him right into bed. Hello? Hello? Mrs. Cranshaw? Yes, but I got the zipper put in the bunny costume and... Oh, no. Oh, what a shame. Uh-huh. Well, I guess it does put you on the spot. I'm sure you'll find someone who'll be... Oh, Mrs. Cranshaw, no, Mrs. Cranshaw. You know how some men are, and mine particularly. He just hates getting into a costume. I mean, really,
What was that?
Mrs. Cranshaw, I'm sure my husband really would not like to be the Easter Bunny.
Would I...
Yes, I know, but... Yeah, but... hold on, Mrs. Cranshaw. Hold on.
No, absolutely. No, look, positively.
She wants to talk to
you.
Look. Don't look at me. It's your boss's wife.
Give me that phone.
The man who always does it has broken his leg or something.
He did it deliberately.
Oh.
Now, look, I will tell you this much. I tell you right, I will quit my job first. I will quit my job.
Take the phone. I wash my hands of the whole thing. I've done my bit. I put the zipper in. Go on.
Mrs. Cranshaw? Yes. Now, look, I love children as well as the next person, Mrs. Cranshaw, but Yes. No. Yes, I know. I know.
Stand still. Let me see how you look. Turn around now. Look out, don't fall over the chair. Can't you see out of that thing? Don't be mad at me now. I did my best. You heard me on the phone. There. Let me see you. Matter of fact, look kind of cute. Just a great big pink bunny. Look, all you have to do is make an appearance. Have your picture taken with the orphans and hand around their Easter baskets, and no one will even know who you are in that thing, so stop worrying. Now, stand still, will you, just a minute. Let me try and fluff up your ears a bit. One of them is kind of drooping. It's kind of cute, but I think it's better if your ears stand up straight, don't you? Well, take off your head. I'll have stuffed more cotton in so the ears stand up straight. Your head just unsnaps, dear. I think if you... Right there. Here, I'll do it. Don't just rip it off like that, honey.
I am not going to do it.
Honey.
You have no objection to your husband appearing in public like this?
Nobody will know you inside that get-up. You heard Mrs. Cranshaw.
Indeed, I did hear Mrs. Cranshaw. The boss's wife or no boss's wife, she is not going to railroad me into making a perfect fool of myself.
I told her she was hard to say no to. She just keeps at you until she wears you down. She does it to everybody. However, it is true, dear. Nobody will know you in this thing, and she said she would not give your name to the newspaper.
Well, I'll tell you who's going to get my name. My boss is going to get my name. Mr. Cranshaw is going to get my name right at the end of my resignation. I am serious. I am serious. Hand me that phone.
We have 2 children, a mortgage on the house.
There is one thing money cannot buy, a man's dignity. And I'll be darned if I am going to be a big pink Easter bunny for anybody. Hand me that phone.
We'll return to the couple next door in just a moment. Most of us think of Gary Moore as an entertainer of considerable stature, and rightly so. Today, after a long, successful career, he's a household word in sight and sound. Gary, as you may know, is heard every weekday on CBS Radio, part of a different sound that includes Gary and Durwood Kirby, Bing Crosby and Rosemary Clooney, Arthur Godfrey, currently coming to you from somewhere in the Pacific, and Art Linkletter. Right now, here's a Gary Moore with something on his mind besides entertainment.
Hi, this is Gary Moore of the daytime CBS radio show of the same name. Some people these days are saying our national economy is going right through the roof. Others say it better not, since we might have a rainy day and need that roof. I say why not write for a free informative booklet called Prices, Growth, and You. The address, American Assembly, Columbia University, New York City, 27. American Assembly, Columbia University, New York City, 27. They'll give you a good roadmap toward our stable, secure future.
sorry, dear, but the Cranshaw's line is still busy.
Dial it again. Let it ring.
It doesn't ring. I just keep getting a busy signal.
Well, keep dialing. Keep dialing until you don't get a busy signal.
No one will even know you in that costume, honey.
I will not be an Easter bunny for anybody. Why does Mr. Cranshaw be an Easter bunny?
I don't think the costume would fit him, dear.
Yeah.
He's much bigger. We have 2 children, a mortgage on the house.
Now stop saying that.
Well, it's true. Do you want to start looking for another job now? Why, Mr. Cranshaw's even hinted that when he retires, you'll be put in charge. Dear?
I will not be an Easter bunny.
Not for some poor little orphan?
Now, don't do that to me, will you?
Nobody will even know you in that. All you do is make an appearance. Have your picture taken with the little children.
Oh, now, please.
All right. All right. I don't blame you.
Right.
I really don't. We'll sell this house, move somewhere else, and start over. I mean it, darling. I mean it. I don't blame you.
Do you realize what I'd have to go through?
Of
Do you
course,
realize
sure.
guys sidling up to me and saying, "How's Mr. McGregor's garden, old boy?
Sure, they
Don't
would,
eat
yeah.
too many carrots."
I know. It'd be dreadful, dear.
Are all these children orphans?
Yes.
Let me see how I look again.
Now, hold still, Lindy. I'll have to snap on your head there. There, hold still. Hold still. Yeah, I'll propel you to the mirror so you can see how you look. Well, you're kind of cute, really.
One of my ears is still drooping.
Now put more cotton in. I'll have to get it. And I'll put a bigger cottontail on the back, too, dear. Nobody will know who you are, honey. It is kind of cute, and they are orphans.
Oh, just the same, look at me. Look at me, will you? Inside here is the man whose mother once hoped might be president of the United States. Instead of that, I turned out to be a big, pink, fluffy Easter bunny.
Oh, don't worry. Maybe by Sunday I can get somebody else to be it.
No. Somehow I've got a feeling that this is my destiny.